Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing my annual flip through of my past year's personal planner and showing you the new planner that I have for this new upcoming year, and just talk a little bit about how I use this planner for work. So at the end of 2024, you saw me showing off my new 2025 personal planner. So personal planner, just to back up a little, is a brand based in Sweden, and they really do personalize everything. I'll go through mine in a minute, but you can totally personalize the layout, the colors, the designs, the little modules, any kind of extra pages in the back. You can personalize all of it. You can even load in your own list of like birthdays or special dates, and they'll be printed on the calendar for you. So I don't actually take advantage of a lot of those personalization options, but I do like the fact that I can get like the exact layout that I want, because the way that I use my planner for work, and I'll explain this as I kind of start paging through my 2025 planner, is that I only use it for work, like for my day job. And so that's why I really only have things written on Monday through Friday. And you'll see that I use black ink for any appointments that I have, during the day for work. Obviously some weeks are busier than others, and I feel like 2025 was a particularly busy year. So you'll probably just see a lot of black text as we go through. But so black ink is my like actual work appointments, throughout the day. And then I decorate each week with some kind of, usually I use washi tape. Sometimes depending on space, I'll use some other stickers. So I'll do something decorative, and then I will do other text in a coordinating color that coordinates to the decorative tape. And so the other things that I list are things in check boxes on each, like on a certain date, are kind of to-do list items that I can then check off my checkbox. And then other things that are written in that colored ink are just other things that I need to do that day, whether it's like a doctor's appointment or some kind of meeting outside of work, a volunteer activity. Here's a week where I did some other stickers instead of washi tape, and here's a week where I did other stickers because one day was a holiday, so I knew I wasn't going to be using this space, so I had room for a big old sticker. And then the other thing that I do a lot of weeks, although of course now that I want to talk about it I'm not seeing it, but we have kind of a system where you can send sort of like thank you awards to people, and so if I have someone I want to send one of those to, I'll usually write it in the weekend space. But so the way that I set up my planner is, because I'm primarily focusing on Monday through Friday, I make those the largest boxes, and then Saturday and Sunday, I let them be smaller, and again, I'm not really even using that space. They used to force you to have sort of this space in the margin at the bottom of the page, which you could make into different modules with check boxes or different things, but I think as of last year you're not required to have that space, so I now use the full length of each page, which gives me a little more space per day, because some weeks or some days I was having so many appointments I was going into like a second column. And then there is also a monthly spread at the start of each month, which I don't use every month, but every other month I send a newsletter, and so I use the monthly spread to plan out like the milestones of the newsletter activities that I have to do. So I'll just kind of continue flipping through this. I'm not even sure where we are in time. Here we are, we're up to October already. I'll just keep paging through this, but as you can see, I basically just use it to kind of track also my accomplishments. So like if I run reports or just like do a specific thing or like support different activities, sometimes I'll make a little note as well. Just so that when I go back, look, I tried to get a little creative the week of Thanksgiving, but just so when I go back and, try to look at like, oh yeah, what did I do this week or this month, I have a little bit of evidence So anyway, now we're coming up to the end of December here, and then this was actually, I did work the week of Christmas, except for the days that were our site holidays, but so now we are fully at the end of the calendar pages here, and the end of my working days, which, you know, again, I only use this for work. So just to show you the other little modules and things in here, I have the like annual overview pages. So this is all customizable. I have the annual overview pages for the current year and the next year, just like so if you want to look ahead and be like, you know, oh, October 2nd is a Friday. And then I also just fill in the rest of the pages because you're required to go up to a certain number of pages. I just fill in the rest with dot grid, which I just use kind of as scrap paper. And I also seem to have some blank pages in here. I might have done blank this past year, and just, I actually didn't even insert all of it into my little binder here. I just put like a few sheets of each, and I have like an extra stack of some of this paper. But so that's the other thing for the first, let's see, how many of these do I have? The first like 5 years that I was doing personal planner, I got a spiral bound planner. And then starting a couple of years ago, they started offering this version, which you can put into any 6-ring binder that you like. So I started using that one. The only thing was, spiral bound ones came with a little ruler bookmark that you could clip in and out of the rings, and this one you just get the pages and that's it, which is a savings, but you're missing some of those little features. So I did just get myself this little ruler. It was actually a set of 2 off Amazon. I'll link to it. The binder itself, this is so my original binder. It's holding up great after I think 3 or 4 years now. So you know, so that's working well, and it has a little elastic string to hold it shut. So this part, you know, you just keep using year after year, or you could swap them out if you want, but then it's just the actual pages that get replaced. So this was my 2025 planner. I forgot to actually put the year on the cover, but I did choose this design, and actually I'll show you when I pop this out, but I actually set up the image so that if you opened it this way, you see it kind of becomes one continuous image. So let's say farewell to 2025 and pull out my shiny new 2026 planner pages. And if the design on this is looking familiar to you, it's this beautiful blue marble design, that is because it's actually the same image that I used for my 2022 planner, which was, you can see it was the ring bound, or the spiral bound planner. So, so this is different in that it has a different type of binding, but I'll page through this. Let me pop this onto the rings, and then I'll page through this and show you any changes that I made in this year's planner. So the first thing you'll notice is it does have the year on the cover. As I mentioned, I just forgot to put that on my 2025 one, but I do usually just put the year. And you can design all of this yourself on the personal planner site. So they have many cover designs that you can use. And again, this kind of becomes like a continuous thing. They have designs you can use, or you can upload any image of your own, and then you can superimpose text onto it. So I just chose like this very simple font. I feel like they had some more font options this year than they have in the past. And then starting to page through it, you'll see I still included a monthly spread, and then that same layout for the weekly spreads. And something else that I forgot to mention is that you can also choose like a color or design for this top margin area, and I just chose to keep mine blank and white. I think in previous years I've made them like a very light gray, just whatever's like the plainest thing that it can be, because as you saw, that usually is the part that I cover up with washi tape, so I don't really care if that part's a design. And then I think like that's pretty much it. And the font I think was also a choice, so I'd use this you know, kind of simple font, you know, because I don't want anything to conflict with my washi tape. I'm noticing a lot more holidays listed on here than usually are. And then in the back, again, I just have the yearly overview pages. So this is actually the 2027 overview, and then the rest of the pages are just filled with the dot grid. And like I said, I'll probably even pull some of this out just to kind of save on space, and if I need more pages, you know, I'll have them at home and I can go back and insert some more. It seems really skinny. I only took out this many pages, so I don't think that's it, but it does get chunky over the course of the year as I start adding all the tape and stuff. So I know it will chunk up. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually start filling it out for my first work days of the year, which is going to start with Monday, January 5th, which will be here before we know it. So to start with, I'm going to pull out my washi tape and let's choose something fun and festive. This is just a gift card or something that I use to tear it with, but let's use something fun and bright that will make me not sad about coming back to the office after a nice long break. And actually, I usually don't put a lot of thought into it, usually just something catches my eye. So this kind of metallic floral tape caught my eye today. So the nice thing with this is you can pop out the pages that you're working on, and then you can, you know, move them around and do what you need to do to decorate them nicely. So let me just add a strip of this tape to the top of each of these pages. And since this is the second half of the week, we're not going to need this for a little while, so I'll put that back on the rings. One other thing I forgot to mention about the way that I use this planner for work is I only fill in one day at a time, which is nice for two reasons. Number one, my schedule changes at the last minute all the time. People are constantly either scheduling last minute meetings or canceling things at the last minute. So really to commit things to paper more than a day or so in advance isn't really worth it. But number two, it's nice because kind of at the end of the day, I start filling in for the next day. And so it gives me kind of an idea of what my next day's schedule is going to look like. And that sort of helps me keep on top of my schedule overall. So I actually don't have a ton of stuff on my calendar for this first Monday back after the holiday, luckily. Just a couple things first thing in the morning. So again, I have my black pen, so I'm gonna go ahead and write in those appointments. And then I also have one to-do list item for the day. And since this design is a purple metallic, I'm going to use my purple pen for that. And I'll just make that a checkbox here in this kind of second column. And the other thing that you might have noticed in my 2025 planner that I track is I make a note of days when I'm in the office, because we need to be in the office a certain number of days per week, and I'm not losing count of that. So I probably will go into the office on Monday morning, and when that happens, I'll make a little note here so I remember. But other than that, that's actually surprisingly my day filled in, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in my ruler page marker, and then I have my pages all here, and that's it. Beautiful, nice, pretty blue color. Got my little elastic strap, and that's it for the day, for the week so far. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me page through my planner and showing you how I'm using my new one. And I used to do this a little more frequently. I feel like it's kind of boring, so it becomes just an annual tradition. But if you like this sort of thing and you want to see me do more planner stuff, leave me a comment and let me know, or give me a thumbs up so that people know that this is a good video. And otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful, happy new year and productive return to whatever you're doing for the year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!